Did you know that eating vegetables could actually be bad for your heart? It's an unfair thought that your heart could be damaged just by eating the wrong vegetable, right? If you're over 60, there are 3 vegetables you must eat and 3 you must avoid. Today, I'm going to tell you about both the good and the bad. You've always been told that all vegetables are good for you, but misunderstanding this can be truly dangerous. The single vegetable you choose to eat today could change the health of you and your entire family. In fact, a recent study warned that a common vegetable could increase the risk of kidney failure by as much as 92%. Conversely, knowing and eating the right vegetables can reduce inflammation, sharpen your memory, and even extend your life by over 13 years. Before we start, I'd like to get to know you a little. How old are you, and what vegetables do you enjoy eating? Please leave your age and the name of the vegetable in the comments. Your story can be a great help to others watching this video. Let's create a warm bond with other viewers. And please share this video with your loved ones. Now, let's begin the main story. Last week, I met with a patient, Mr. Davis, a 72-year-old gentleman. He told me he had been drinking fresh vegetable juice every morning for over 20 years. He was a man who truly worked hard for his health, but recently, he'd had to go to the emergency room for heart palpitations and dizziness. When I saw his test results, I was shocked. His blood potassium levels were dangerously high. When we looked for the cause, the problem was his daily vegetable juice. The very vegetables he chose for his health were now threatening his heart. Not all vegetables are good for the hearts of seniors over 60. Today, as a doctor who has cared for older patients for 30 years, I've prepared a story I must share with you. After the age of 60, our bodies undergo many invisible changes. The cardiovascular system in particular becomes more sensitive. Blood vessel walls thicken, lose elasticity, and blood pressure tends to rise. The heart muscle is not as strong as it used to be and tires easily. Kidney function also gradually declines, weakening its ability to regulate electrolytes like sodium and potassium. On top of this, many people are taking blood pressure, diabetes, or heart medications, and these drugs change how our bodies absorb and excrete nutrients. This means that a vegetable you ate without a second thought in your younger days can have a completely different effect after 60. The countless cases I've seen in my 30 years of practice prove this. This is why the choice of each vegetable is so important. So, which vegetables should you choose? First, I'll tell you about the 3 best vegetables that will protect the hearts of seniors over 60. The first is spinach. Many people know about spinach, but they don't know exactly why. It's good for the heart. Spinach is rich in nitrates, which are converted into nitric oxide in our bodies. This nitric oxide works like magic. It relaxes blood vessels, naturally lowering blood pressure and improving circulation. In fact, one study showed that seniors over 60 who ate spinach every day had their systolic blood pressure drop by an average of 5 to 10 mmHg. The magnesium in spinach is also essential for stabilizing heart rhythm. For patients suffering from arrhythmia, spinach is the first vegetable I recommend. Antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin prevent inflammation from building up in the blood vessel walls, and folate lowers a substance called homocysteine that can damage blood vessels. Here's a tip: it's best to lightly blanch spinach. Raw spinach contains oxalates, which can inhibit calcium absorption. If you eat it in a soybean paste stew or seasoned with sesame oil, nutrient absorption is better and it tastes great. The second best vegetable is broccoli. Some people may dislike broccoli, but you should definitely include it in your diet for heart health. Broccoli's greatest strength is a compound called sulforaphane. This substance activates proteins that protect the inner lining of blood vessels, preventing arteriosclerosis. I have a patient, a 75-year-old woman named Mrs. Peterson. 5 years ago, she had a stent procedure for a myocardial infarction, and since then, she has eaten broccoli every day. Her recent checkup showed a noticeable improvement in her blood vessel condition. Broccoli is also rich in vitamin K, which prevents calcium from building up in blood vessels. As we age, blood vessels often become hardened and calcified, and vitamin K helps prevent this. The fiber in broccoli is also effective at lowering cholesterol levels. When you cook broccoli, don't boil it for too long. Lightly blanching it for about 3 to 4 minutes is best. Overcooking can destroy important nutrients like sulforaphane. Lightly stir-frying it with garlic and olive oil, or adding it to a soybean paste stew are also great methods. The third is the tomato. There's a debate about whether it's a vegetable or a fruit. but nutritionally it's classified as a vegetable and is one of the best foods for heart health. The key is a compound called lycopene, which gives tomatoes their red color. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that prevents bad cholesterol from oxidizing and building up on blood vessel walls. This is what stops arteriosclerosis from starting. Interestingly, when tomatoes are cooked, lycopene absorption increases. Eating them as a sauce or in a stew is better for your heart health than eating them raw. One of the reasons people in the Mediterranean have a low incidence of cardiovascular disease is because they eat a lot of cooked tomatoes. Tomatoes are also rich in potassium, which helps lower blood pressure by promoting sodium excretion. Eating 1 or 2 medium-sized tomatoes a day is sufficient. You can eat them stir-fried with eggs, in a pasta sauce, or just eat cherry tomatoes as a snack. One thing to be careful about is that ketchup and commercial tomato sauces often contain a lot of sugar and sodium, so it's best to make your own. Now, I will tell you about the vegetables you should be careful with. The third one is a very surprising vegetable. Listen to the end to protect your heart health. These vegetables are not bad in themselves, but you need to be careful with them if you are over 60, especially if you have heart disease or are taking related medications. The first is kale. It's a superfood that has recently gained a lot of attention. It's truly a great vegetable for young people. However, seniors over 60, especially those taking warfarin or other anticoagulants, need to be cautious. Kale has a massive amount of vitamin K, several times more than spinach. The problem is that vitamin K is involved in blood clotting. If you're taking anticoagulants for a heart condition and suddenly start eating a lot of kale, the medication's effect can be reduced. I once had a patient who started drinking kale juice for health, and their INR level changed so much at their next checkup that we had to adjust their medication. Kale isn't bad, but its interaction with medication is the problem. If you're taking anticoagulants, it's safer to either keep your kale intake consistent or consult with your doctor. Kale also contains a substance called goitrogen, which can interfere with thyroid function, so those with hypothyroidism also need to be careful. If you really want to eat kale, it's best to have a small amount, lightly cooked, once or twice a week. The second vegetable to be careful with is celery. Celery is popular as a diet food because it's low in calories and high in fiber. But for people over 60, there is a hidden danger. It's the sodium content. Most vegetables have almost no sodium, but celery is an exception. It has a high natural sodium content. A single medium stalk of celery has about 30 milliliters of sodium, and if you eat several of them, it adds up to a significant amount. This can be a burden for people on a sodium-restricted diet for high blood pressure or heart failure. The problem gets even bigger if you make celery juice. You use multiple stalks for 1 glass of juice, so your sodium intake increases sharply. I had a patient who came in with swelling and high blood pressure. After trying a celery juice diet, his daily sodium intake was over double the recommended amount. Celery itself isn't bad, but for heart health, it's important to control your intake. It's fine to enjoy a little in your salad for texture, but it's best to avoid consuming large amounts every day. The third vegetable to be careful with is the beet. Beets have recently gained a lot of attention as a health food and are indeed rich in nitrates, which helps lower blood pressure. But why do you need to be careful? Because they have a very high potassium content. 1 cup of beets contains about 500 mg of potassium. This is not a problem for healthy young people, but it can be dangerous for people over 60 with declining kidney function. You need to be especially careful if you are taking ACE inhibitors, or ARBs for high blood pressure, or diuretics. These medications affect potassium excretion. If too much potassium builds up, it causes hyperkalemia, which can lead to heart arrhythmia and in severe cases be life-threatening. The Mr. Davis I mentioned at the beginning was rushed to the ER with hyperkalemia after drinking a daily juice of beets, spinach, and avocado. A moderate amount of beets is fine, but drinking large amounts or juicing them every day is dangerous. If your creatinine levels came out high on a kidney function test, you must consult your doctor before eating them. These small actions will add up to protect your heart. I hope you can spend more time happily with your loved ones with a healthy heart. If this video was helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Please also hit like and share it with others. Thank you so much for watching today.